there, I'm Henry and welcome to TECHNOPOVERTY, a place where we play video games as an excuse to read books as an excuse to play video games, and a big component of it's bouncing it off with you, the chat, which is why we do this as a stream. I don't really feel compelled to turn what I'm doing here into like an essay format thing or like a more passive thing. A huge part of it has been the synthesis of the chat. We've been playing through Metal Gear Solid as part of our Toy Soldiers of Spring block. Typically what happens here on TECHNOPOVERTY, for those just joining us, is I have two co-hosts, Lux and Jacob, and we typically pair ourselves a book and a game, play through it, and again, bounce it off with you, the chat. Hi there, Mask for Mask. But also, we are a work of parody, just to remind those who may not know the lore. That's not to say we're completely insincere, irony-poisoned, and doing this as a work of satire without point. We do engage earnestly with these ideas, but we are literally from a parallel dimension, 99.8% similar to yours. We bounce around in this here interspace engine with these games, these ideas, and we hope to attract clicks to keep the big wigs off our back. I don't want to say much more on that. I just want to let you know we've been playing Metal Gear Solid 2, but since I'm solo tonight, we're going to continue playing Metal Gear for the MSX 2. I think in the past I've credited it as an MSX game. I've been completely wrong and ignorant on history there. It's the MSX2, a system I'm not even sure came out in America. At least this game didn't come out in America in this format. There was a butchered NES port. As we play Metal Gear Solid 2 and Metal Gear during this block, we've been going through Howard Fast's The General Zapped and Angel. I'm actually going to read a story from this in a moment. We've also been going through Fredric Jameson's On Postmodernism and Consumer Society, and Baudrillard's The Gulf War Did Not Take Place, which is pinned in the chat. I want to bounce Baudrillard off of Jacob, and so that we can have more of a conversational thing with that going while we're here, so I may postpone talking about it, but follow that pin, read that essay. It's a series of essays, actually. I'll dip into it a bit tonight, because some of what he says applies to the imagery of what this here MSX Metal Gear game is doing, considering it was made in, I believe, 1987. It may be 1988, before the Gulf War happens, but at the same time you have like Lebanon, a couple other things going on. It's the 80s. The world is aflame with such things. But a look ahead to the future, in addition to all this stuff we've been reading, after we beat Metal Gear Solid 2, we're going to move on to SPEC OPS The Line and talk about the Fort Bragg Cartel by Seth Harp. I know there's stuff in this book worth talking about. That's why I picked it. What I'm saying is I'm unaware of what's in the book, but I know Jacob's read it, and I know a few other folks in the chat have expressed. A lot of people have actually responded. I've been posting about this one, and like people in the comments and stuff, they're like, oh yeah, they're looking forward to this one. It is a known book. It came out last year, so it's a bit more known than some of the older stuff we've been reading, although I do like to try to pick on, you know, stuff that... No, I don't. I don't know what I'm trying to say as far as the selection goes. I'm going to say I try to stick to the canon, but no, I pretty actively also tried to find stuff that's interesting and lesser heard of, and you know, I feel a bit iconoclastic about certain opinions I have on certain weird fiction and genre fiction authors. Anyways, that is all to say. I'm going to read some Howard Fast before kicking off the Metal Gear today. The Howard Fast, the General Zapped and Angel, is a collection of short stories I've found quite humorous. I read The Vision of Milty Boyle a couple sessions ago about a real estate magnate who becomes a very successful real estate businessman and then a very successful campaigner for the idea that men should only dare to be 3 feet tall, because if men are only 3 feet tall, he could sell he could sell buildings with shorter ceilings in them, which is like a fetish of his. And he succeeds. The bastard was born hating the tall, and he dreamt and made them small. There's a lot of very funny things we've been talking about going on in the General Zapped and Angel. I'll talk a bit more about that as we actually play the game. For now, let's get to The Wound by Howard Fast. Just for a quick reference, let me double check. I believe the year this was originally published was 1970. As Jacob read in the past, Howard Fast is the writer of the novel Spartacus. He went to jail in the 50s for not snitching during the Red Scare. I know there's a copyright page here. Originally published in 1969. Okay, so I was actually overshooting. All right. I won't say any more about the context around it. That's what the actual gameplay talk session's for. Let's just read this here story. The Wound. Max Gaffey always insisted that the essence of the oil industry could be summed up in the simple statement: the right thing in the wrong place. My wife, Martha, always disliked him and said that he was a spoiler. I suppose he was, but how was he different from any of us in that sense? We were all spoilers, and if we were not the actual thing, we invested in it and thereby became rich. I myself had invested the small nest egg that a college professor puts away in a stock Max Gaffey gave me. It was called Thunder Inc., and the company's function was to use atomic bombs to release natural gas and oil locked up in vast untouched shale deposits that we have here in the United States. Oil shale is not a very economical source of oil. The oil's locked up in the shale, and about 60% of the total cost of shale oil consists of the laborious methods of mining the shale, crushing it to release the oil, and the disposing of the spent shale. Gaffey sold to Thunder Inc. an entirely new method, which involved the use of a surplus atomic bomb for the release of shale oil. In very simplistic terms, a deep hole's bored in the shale oil deposits. Then, an atomic bomb is lowered to the bottom of this hole, after which the hole is plugged and the bomb is detonated. Theoretically, the heat and force of the atomic explosion crushes the shale and releases the oil to fill the underground cavern formed by the gigantic force of the bomb. The oil does not burn because the hole is sealed, and thereby, for a comparatively small cost, untold amounts of oil can be tapped and released. Enough, perhaps, to last until that time when we experience a complete conversion to atomic energy. So vast are the shale deposits. Such, at least, was the way Max Gaffey put the proposition to me, in a sort of mutual brain-picking operation. He had the utmost admiration for my knowledge of the Earth's crust, and I had an equally profound admiration for his ability to make $2 or $5 or $10 appear where only one had been before. My wife disliked him and his notions, and most of all the proposal to feed atomic bombs into the Earth's crust. It's wrong, she said flatly. I don't know why or how, but this I do know, that everything connected with that wretched bomb is wrong. Yet couldn't you look at this as a sort of salvation, I argued. Here we are in these United States with enough atom bombs to destroy life on Earth 10 times the size of ours, and every one of those bombs represents an investment of millions of dollars. I could not agree more with you. I cannot agree more when you hold that those bombs are the most hideous and frightful things the mind of man ever conceived. Then how on earth can you speak of salvation? Because so long as those bombs sit here, they represent a constant threat, day and night, the threat that some feather-brained general or brainless politician will begin the process of throwing them at our neighbors. But here Gaffey's come up with a peaceful use for the bomb. Don't you see what that means? I'm afraid I don't, Martha said. It means that we can use the damn bombs for something other than suicide. Because if this starts, it's the end of mankind. But there are oil shale and gas shale deposits all over the earth, and if we can use the bomb to supply man with a century of fuel, not to mention the chemical byproducts, we may just find a way to dispose of those filthy bombs. Oh, you don't believe that for a moment, Martha snorted. I do. I certainly do. What up, Sleepy Zane? This is The Wound by Howard Fast. This narrator of the story has just been sold by his friend Max a story that maybe they could use atomic bombs to break up oil shale and put nukes to good use. And the dude's wife is horrified by the idea. And I think I did. I went over the plans that Gaffey and his associates had worked out, and I could not find any flaw. If the hole were plugged properly, there would be no fallout. We knew that, and we had the know-how to plug the hole, and we'd proven it at least 20 underground explosions. The earth tremor would be inconsequential. In spite of the heat, the oil would not ignite, and in spite of the cost of the atom bombs, the savings would be monumental. In fact, Gaffey hinted that some accommodation between the government and Thunder Inc. was in the process of being worked out. And if it went through as planned, the atom bombs might just cost Thunder Inc. nothing at all, the whole thing being in the way of an experiment for the social good. Wow, the market is finding a moral use for these warheads lying around. Surely this is, wow, Howard Fast, a communist, was writing about how the free market will fix this. Excuse me while I clear my throat for a moment. After all, Thunder Inc. did not own any oil shale deposits, nor was it in the oil business. It was simply a service organization with the proper know-how, and if for a fee, if the process worked, it would release the oil for others. What the fee would be was left unsaid, but Max Gaffey, in return for my consultation, suggested that I might buy a few shares, not only of Thunder Inc., but of General Shale Holdings. I had altogether about $10,000 in savings available and another $10,000 in American Telephone and government bonds. Martha had a bit of money of her own, but I left that alone, and without telling her, I sold my telephone stock and my bonds. Thunder Inc. was selling at $5 a share, and I bought 2,000 shares. General Shale was selling for $2, and I bought 4,000 shares. I saw nothing immoral, as a business morality was calculated. In the procedures adopted by Thunder Inc., its relationship to the government was no different than the relationships of various other companies, and my own process of investment was perfectly straightforward and honorable. I was not even the recipient of secret information, for the atom bomb shale oil proposal had been widely publicized, if little believed. Even before the first test explosion was undertaken, the stock of Thunder Inc. went from $5 to $65 a share. My $10,000 became $130,000, and that doubled again a year later. The 4,000 shares of General Shale went up to $18 a share, and from a moderately poor professor, I became a moderately rich professor. When finally, almost 2 years after Max Gaffey first approached me, they exploded the first atom bomb in a shaft reamed in the oil shale deposits, I had abandoned the simple anxieties of the poor, and I had developed an entirely new set tailored to the upper middle class. We became a two-car family, and a reluctant Martha joined me in shopping for a larger house. In the new house, Gaffey and his wife came to dinner, and Martha armed herself with 2 stiff martinis. Then she was quietly polite until Gaffey began to talk about the social good. He painted a bright picture of what shale oil could do and how rich we might all become. Oh, yes, Martha agreed. Pollute the atmosphere, kill more people with more cars, increase the speed with which we can buzz around in circles and get precisely nowhere. Oh, you're a pessimist, said Gaffey's wife, who was young and pretty, but no mental giant. Of course there are 2 sides to it, Gaffey admitted. It's a question of controls. You can't stop progress, but it seems to me you can direct it. The way we've been directing it, so that our rivers stink and our lakes are sewers of dead fish and our atmosphere is polluted and our birds are poisoned by DDT and our natural resources are spoiled. We are all spoilers, aren't we? Come now, I protested. This is the way it is, and all of us are indignant about that, Martha. Are you really? I think so. Men have always dug in the earth, Gaffey said. Otherwise, we'd still be in the Stone Age, and perhaps a good bit happier. No, I said. The Stone Age was a very unpleasant time, Martha. You don't wish us back there. Do you remember, Martha said slowly, how there was a time when men used to speak about the earth, our mother? It was Mother Earth, and they believed it. She was the source of life and being. She still is. You've sucked her dry, Martha said curiously. When a woman is sucked dry, her children perish. It was an odd and poetical thing to say, and, as I thought, in bad taste. I punished Martha by leaving Mrs. Gaffey with her, with the excuse that Max and I had some business matters to discuss, which indeed we did. We went into the new study in the new house, and we lit 50-cent cigars, and Max told me about the thing they'd aptly named Project Hades. That's right, Mask for Mask, money posting and making money moves and cred score maxing. Polymarket predictions most of all. Don't you guys fucking love the market? Isn't it solving everything in this story? All right, let's get back to it. Let's learn about this here Project Hades. The point is, Max said, that I could get you into this at the very beginning, at the bottom. There are 11 companies involved, very solid and reputable companies. He named them, and I was duly impressed, who are putting up the capital for what will be a subsidiary of Thunder Inc. For their money, they get 25% interest. There's also 10% in the form of stock warrants, put aside for consultation and advice, and you'll understand why. I can fit you in for 1.5%, roughly $750,000, simply for a few weeks of your time, and we will pay you all expenses, plus an opinion. It sounds interesting. It should sound more than that. If Project Hades works, your interest will increase tenfold within a matter of 5 years. It's the shortest cut to being a millionaire that I know. All right, I'm more than interested. Go on. Gaffey took out a map of Arizona and unfolded it, pointed it to a marked off area. Here, he said, is what should, according to all our geological knowledge, be one of the richest oil-bearing areas in the country. Do you agree? Yes, I know the area, I replied. I've been over it. Its oil potential is purely theoretical. No one's ever brought in anything there, not even salt water. It's dry and dead. Why? I shrugged. That's the way it is. If we could locate oil through geological premise and theory, you and I would both be richer than Getty. The fact of the matter is, as well you know, that sometimes it's there and sometimes it isn't. More often, it isn't. Why? We know our job. We drill in the right places. What are you getting at, Max? A speculation, particularly for this area. We've discussed this speculation for months. We've tested it as best we can. We've examined it from every possible angle. And now we're ready to blow about $5 million to test our hypothesis. Providing what? That your expert opinion agrees with ours. In other words, we've cast the die with you. You look at the situation and tell us to go ahead, we go ahead. You look at it and tell us it's a crock of beans, well, we fold our tents like the Arabs and silently steal away. Just on my say-so? Just on your brains and know-how. Max, aren't you barking up the wrong tree? I'm a simple professor of geology at an unimportant Western State University, and there are at least 20 men in the field who can teach me the right time, not in our opinion, not on where the stuff is. We know who's in the field, and we know their track records. You keep your light under a bushel, but we know what we want. So don't argue. It's either a deal or it isn't. Well? How the devil can I answer you when I don't even know what you're talking about? All right, I'll spell it out, quick and simple. The oil was there once, right where it should be. Then a natural convulsion, a very deep fault, the earth cracked and the oil flowed down, deep down, and now giant pockets of it are buried there where no drill can reach them. How deep? Who knows? 15, 20 miles? That's deep. Maybe deeper. When you think of that kind of distance under the surface, you're in a darker mystery than Mars or Venus, all of which you know, all of which I know. I had a bad, uneasy feeling, and some of it must have shown in my face. What's wrong? I don't know. Why don't you leave it alone, Max? Why? Come on, Max. We're not talking about drilling for oil. 15, 20 miles. There's a rig down near the Pecos in Texas, and they've just passed the 25,000 foot level, and that's about it. Oh, maybe another 1,000, but you're talking about oil that's buried 100,000 feet of crust. You can't drill for it. You can only go in and what? Blast it out? Of course. And how do you fault us for that? What's wrong with it? We know, or at least we have good reason to believe, that there's a fissure that opened and closed. The oil should be under tremendous pressure. We put in an atom bomb, a bigger bomb than we've ever used before, and we blast that fissure open again. Great God Almighty, that should be the biggest gusher in the history of gushers. You've drilled the hole already, haven't you, Max? That's right. How deep? 22,000 feet. And you have the bomb? Max nodded. We have the bomb. We've been working on this for 5 years, and 7 months ago the boys in Washington cleared the bomb. It's out there in Arizona waiting
For what? For you to look everything over and tell us to go ahead. Why? We have enough oil. Like hell we have. You know damn well why. And you do imagine we can drop it now after all the money and time that's been invested in this? You said you'd drop it if I said so. As a geologist in our pay, and I know you well enough to know what it means in terms of your professional skill and pride. I stayed up half that night talking with Martha about it and trying to fit it into some kind of moral position. But the only thing I could come up with was the fact that here was one less atom bomb to murder a man and destroy the life of the earth. That I could not argue with that. A day later, I was at the drilling site in Arizona. The spot was well chosen. From every point of view, this was an oil explorer's dream. And I suppose that fact had been duly noted for the past half-century, for there were the moldering remains of 100 shoot-off rigs, rotting patterns of wooden and metal sticks as far as one could see, abandoned shacks, trailers left with lost hopes, ancient trucks, rusting gears, piles of abandoned pipe, all testifying to the hope that springs eternal in the wild Carter's breast. I love that paragraph. I love that imagery. I love the idea of all these ruined structures just surrounding, these failed attempts to really hit this impossibly deep fault that's just the rumored oil fault of lore. And here's this big, expensive, atom bomb driven project. It's, the towers there, just waiting amongst all the other broken ones. It's some cool shit in my brain. Howard Fass is very good, again, at just that vivid imagery of it's apocalyptic. Every one of the stories that I've read in the short is in this compilation is pretty much about the end of the world. But the way he's able to redress that or reanalyze it or make a new analogy or just reorganize this symbol or examine it from another angle to he doesn't wear out the gimmick. He keeps them very funny, but also biting in a satirical way where because you kind of get what each story's about from the outset, it's more about being in on the jokes as they're made, if anything. I'm not quite sure, L-Man, honestly, but let's get back to it. Thunder Inc. was something else. A great installation in the middle of the deep valley, a drilling rig larger and more complex than any I had ever seen, a wall to contain the oil should they fail to cap it immediately, a machine shop, a small generating plant, at least 100 vehicles of various sorts, and perhaps 50 mobile homes. The very extent and vastness of the action here deep in the Badlands was breathtaking, and I let Max know what I thought of his statement, all that this would be abandoned. And I let Max know what I thought of his statement, that all of this would be abandoned if I said that the idea was worthless. Maybe yes, maybe no. What do you say? Give me time. Absolutely. All the time you want. Never have I been treated with such respect. I prowled all over the place, and I rode a jeep around, and about, and back, and forth, and up into the hills, and down again. But no matter how long I prowled and sniffed and estimated, mine would be no more than an educated guess. I was also certain that they would not give up the project if I disapproved and said that it would be a washout. They believed in me as a sort of oil dowser, especially if I told them to go ahead. What they were really seeking was an expert's affirmation of their own faith. And that was apparent from the fact that they had already drilled an expensive 22,000-foot hole and had set up all this equipment. If I told them they were wrong, their faith might be shaken a little, but they would recover and find themselves another dowser. I told this to Martha when I telephoned her. Well, what do you honestly think? It's oil country. But I'm not the first one to come up with that brilliant observation. The point is, does their explanation account for the lack of oil? Does it? I don't know. No one knows. And they're dangling $1 million right in front of my nose. I can't help you, Martha said. You've got to play this one yourself. Of course she couldn't help me. No one could have helped me. It was too far down, too deeply hidden. We knew what the other side of the moon looked like, and we knew something about Mars and the other planets. But what have we ever known about ourselves and the place where we live? The day after I spoke to Martha, I met with Max, and his board of directors. I agree, I told them. The oil should be there. My opinion is that you should go ahead and try the blast. They questioned me after that for about an hour, but when you play the role of a dowser, questions and answers become a sort of magical ritual. The plain fact of the matter is that no one had ever exploded a bomb of such power at such a depth, and until it was done, no one knew it would happen. I watched the preparations for the explosion with great interest. The bomb, with its implosion casing, was specially made for this task, or remade would be a better way of putting it. Very long, almost 20 feet, very slim. It was armed after it was in the rigging. And then the board of directors, engineers, technicians, newspapermen, Max, and myself retreated to the concrete shelter and control stations, which had been built almost a mile away from the shaft. Closed-circuit televisions linked us with the hull. And while no one expected the explosion to do any more than jar the Earth heavily at the surface, the Atomic Energy Commission specified precautions we were taking. We remained in the shelter for 5 hours while the bomb made its long descent. Until at last, our instruments told us that it rested on the bottom of the drill hole. Then we had a simple countdown, and the chairman of the board pressed the red button. Red and white buttons are man's glory. Press a white button and a bell rings, or an electric light goes on. Press a red button and the hellish force of a sun comes into being, this time 5 miles beneath the Earth's surface. Perhaps it was this part and point in the Earth's surface. Perhaps there is no other place where exactly the same thing would have happened. Perhaps the fault that drained away the oil was a deeper fault than we had ever imagined. Actually, we'll never know. We only saw what we saw, watching it through the closed-circuit TV. We saw the Earth swell. The swell rose up like a bubble about 200 yards in diameter, and then the surface of the bubble dissipated in a column of dust or smoke that rose up perhaps 500 feet from the valley bottom, stayed a moment with the lowering sun behind it like a very column of fire out of Sinai, and then lifted whole and broke suddenly in the wind. Even in the shelter, we heard the screaming rumble of sound, and as the face of the enormous hole that the dust had left cleared, there bubbled up a column of oil perhaps 100 feet in diameter. Or was it oil? The moment we saw it, a tremendous cheer went up in the shelter, and then the cheer cut off in its own echo. Our closed-circuit system was a color television, and this column of oil was bright red. Red oil? Someone whispered. Then it was quiet. When can we get out? Someone else demanded. Another 10 minutes. The dust was up and away in the opposite direction, and for 10 minutes we stood and watched the bright red oil bubble out of that hole, forming a great pond within the retaining walls, and filling the space with amazing rapidity, and lapping over the walls, for the flow must have been 100,000 gallons a second or even more, and then outside of the walls, and a thickness of it all across the valley floor, rising so quickly from that form above where we were, we saw that we could be cut off from the entire installation. At that point, we didn't wait, but took our chances with the radiation and raced down the desert hillside, towards the hole and the mobile homes and the trucks, but not quickly enough. We came to a stop at the edge of the great lake of red oil. It's not red oil, someone said. God damn it, it's not oil. The hell it's not. It's oil. We were moving back and spread in rows and covered the trucks and houses, and then it reached a gap in the valley and poured through and down across the desert into the darkness of the shadows of the big rocks and through flashing red in the sunset and later black in the darkness. Someone touched it and put a hand to his mouth. It's blood. Max was next to me. He's crazy, Max said. Someone else said that it was blood. I put a finger into the red fluid and raised it to my nose. It was warm, almost hot, and there was no mistaking the smell of hot, fresh blood. I tasted it with the tip of my tongue. What is it? Max whispered. The others gathered around now, silent, with the red sun sitting across the red lake and the red reflected in our faces, our eyes glistening with the red. Jesus God, what is it? Max demanded. It's blood, I replied. From where? Then we were all silent. We spent the night on top of the butte, where the shelter had been built, and in the morning, all around us, as far as we could see, There was a hot, steaming sea of red blood, the smell so thick and heavy that we were all sick from it, and all of us vomited half a dozen times before the helicopters came for us and took us away. The day after I returned home, Martha and I were sitting in the living room, she with a book and I with the paper, where I'd read about their trying to cap the thing, except that even with diving suits, they could not get down to where it was, and she looked up from her book and said, "Do you remember that thing about the mother?" "What thing?" "A very old thing I think I once heard, and it was half as old as time, or maybe a Greek fable or something of the sort, but anyway, the mother has one son, who is the joy of her heart, and all the rest of that son could be to a mother, and then the son falls in love with, or under the spell of, a beautiful and wicked woman, a very wicked and very beautiful woman, and he desires to please her, oh, he does indeed, and he says to her, 'Whatever you desire, I will bring to you.' Which is nothing to say to a woman, but ever," I put in. "I won't quarrel with that," Martha said mildly, "because when he does put it to her, she replies that what she desires most on earth is the living heart of his mother, plucked from her breast. So what does this worthless and murderous idiot male do but race home to his mother, and then out with a knife, ripping her breast to belly and tearing the living heart out of her body. I don't like your story." And with the heart in his hand, he blithely dashes back towards his lady love, but on the way through the forest, he catches his toe on a root, stumbles, and falls headlong, the mother's heart knocked out of his hand. And he pulls himself up and approaches the heart. It says to him, "Did you hurt yourself when you fell, my son?" Lovely story. What does it prove? Nothing, I suppose. Will they ever stop the bleeding? Will they ever close the wound? I don't think so. Then will your mother bleed to death? My mother? Yes. Oh? My mother, Martha said. Will she bleed to death? I suppose so. That's all you can say? I suppose so. What else? Suppose you told them not to go ahead. You asked me that 20 times, Martha. I told you. They would have gotten another dowser. And another? And another? Yes. Why? She cried out. For God's sake, why? I don't know. But you lousy men know everything else. Mostly we only know how to kill it. That's not everything else. We never learned to make anything alive. And now it's too late, Martha said. It's too late, yeah, I agreed. And I went back to reading the paper. But Martha just sat there, the open book in her lap, looking at me. Then, after a while, she closed the book and went upstairs to bed. That was The Wound by Howard Vast from the General Zapped and Angel. What happened there, huh? Alright, gang, I'm going to pull up the Metal Gear now. We're going to get to it. Alright, let me get this a PlayStation controller. Thank you for being here, chat. I see there's a few of you. For those who came in the middle of the story, as you can see, we're flying solo tonight, playing Metal Gear. Jacob is not available. It's been a bit of a rocky time here at the Interspace Engine, but I believe he'll be back Thursday. Let me fire up this controller, load this game. Oh yeah, you did miss where I checked for monsters under my bed. Oh no, Jacob's fine. He's just out of town on work. I know Lux's Tuesdays have been pretty busy too, so we may be playing more solo stuff tomorrow. I don't know yet. Alright, I believe I needed to go to the second floor and clear that out. Yes, the blue floor. Thank that nerd for turning into food. Sleepy Zane, it was legible. Okay, so the NES one is totally like an illegible mess. They added like the outside jungle area and remixed it in like also the translation is just bad. So it has some legendary English, but yeah, I absolutely loathe the NES Metal Gear, or not loathe it, but it's
It's not playable. I can't power through it the way I can something I like. It's the same way I don't like the original Metroid. Like, I respect it, but yeah. Although I don't really respect the NES port, because this game's way better, honestly. It's still rough, but it's definitely way better than the NES one. I've been able to kind of reason out the logic of it and just kind of trial and error my way through the maps. It's very Zelda 2, or very Dark Souls in a way. I'm just getting so many alerts. All right. I assume I'm gonna die though. I'm just refamiliarizing myself with the controls and mechanics at this point. But this keycard shit is dated and I hate it. I hate how every time we come to a door, I have to cycle through this many goddamn key cards. Why couldn't they just have one card increasing level going bit by bit? That's been the most annoying aspect. The other annoying aspect was the hidden basement wall. Although I'm realizing the hidden basement wall thing is also something kind of referenced in Metal Gear Solid. The way you get to Ocelot's chamber is by blowing up a fake wall in the bottom corner of the basement over Shadow Moses. If I recall correctly, that's how you get to Ocelot's room. It's very similar to the way you have to blow up the basement in the original first building here. See, Sleepy Zane, I consider it a Metal Gear game, I just don't consider it a Metal Gear Solid game. Like, I can honor recognizing Metal Gear Solid 1, 2, 3, and 4 as their own thing, and considering Metal Gear 1 and 2 too archaic. But, I mean, I do think they're valid Metal Gear games. What up, Ja? But, like, this MSX one has stuff that's, like, feature of Solid as well, like the way what I was just talking about with like the wall tapping being used to find the hidden stuff in the basements, the general way the alerts work, the pistol, the key cards, the rations, even the way the menu system's like mapped to the shoulder buttons is pretty nice and very reminiscent of the original. Okay, I went up that way and I got myself the antidote. I have to recommit this mental map to memory. Now this room, these dudes are kind of troublesome. But in a lot of ways, this is pretty sophisticated gameplay for 87. Let me double check that while waiting to jump this guy. I said I was going to do that, but he ended up getting closer faster than I realized. I do like getting the silencer too. There's a lot of neat gameplay things going on here. I need to radio that one lady first. Okay, sorry about that, Sleepy Zane. I was getting confused. Yeah, no, this is extremely better than the NES one, even if it has its rough archaisms, as I've been talking about already. Is archaisms even a word, or am I just scared of this alert? Yeah, this keycard thing. Just no, come on now. Yeah, I'll call Jennifer on 124.8. Got it. And I believe I'm high enough right? Oh, I may have to leave the room first. And now the RPG should be in that room. Okay, dude, I'm just gonna shoot you. Oh, this gun, come on, what was that? All right, we got the rocket launcher, we got the antidote. I mean, I don't think Metal Gear is very anxiety-inducing up until 3, in all honesty. I mean, you guys have seen me fumble in 2 a bit, but the whole cone vision, like, it's essentially this game up until 2, up through 2. And for instance, I find this easier to manage and less nerve-wracking than, say, Splinter Cell, which I believe is post-Metal Gear Solid 2. I go in here, can I clear the, I want to clear the alarm is the thing. And if I go in the other room, I don't think I clear the alarm. I think it'll keep going. Does this work? No, this doesn't work. All I can hope for is turning these guys into, yeah, resources. Turn them into resources. Okay, I need to sneak past these dudes. Actually, so can I rocket launcher these guys? I don't think that did anything, huh? No. That doesn't work. That doesn't work. Okay. These guys are like puzzle bosses. Our C missile doesn't work. Okay, what's over here? What's over here? I also like that from the start you do have this punch shoot option. Like all the Metal Gear games kind of let you both shoot and punch without having to like de-equip. Also, chat, apologies if I miss key context since I don't have a co-pilot tonight, but I will pause and read from time to time. Okay, so this door is just out of the question. I need a higher level key card, I guess. Noted. It is fine, Sleepy Zane. That is part of the chill. I'm also talking out loud, like reasoning through this very archaic game. Okay, I think if I get a 5 card, that's what these bottom ones are. Let's see if I'm right. Yes. Okay, I need a compass, eh? I don't have a compass right now. I have the antidote, which I'm not sure what to use for, and then I have the antenna. Even in an enemy jamming zone, so I imagine that'll come up later. I shouldn't. Oh, I also got a flashlight, that's good to remember. Okay, the Goliath dude's right through this door. Yep. Can I get through here and be safe? Nope. All right, first row of this floor went better than expected. I thought I was gonna eat it relatively fast. But I now know going that one way all the way is kind of fruitless, and the other way is a quick path to the antidote. Let's do this, let's do this, let's do this. Sometimes the punching just don't make sense, but I do want to get this antidote over here. Maybe I want to get my antidote on the way out. So that takes me back, that takes me to a dead end, that takes me to the antidote. That takes me to the RPG. Is there a card? It's a 1. Weird. I just wasted a lot of resources doing that. I hate it. Alright. Damn it. Why did they name it Donna? Ammo and supplies, got it. A lot of ammo, a lot of supplies. I want rations though. I will punch you until you turn into food. It is interesting that that is like Snake Eater. Alright, I believe I'm gonna go up this way. Yep. I have binoculars, I'm just not using them. All right, Dr. Petrovich. All right, we have to go back to the basement in Building 1 to help Dr. Petrovich's daughter. Got it. Can I survive that long is the real question. That damn basement, I just don't like it. Chat text-to-speech in the earbud. Oh. But it can't tell me who's talking. I have to guess. I did want to bring up, Jog, that you brought that up. The Baudrillard essay, The Cold War Did Not Take Place. Maybe I'll talk a bit about the first part of it, since it's really 3 essays in one book and an intro. I think it's important to note with that particular work that even Baudrillard doesn't consider it like... He considers it a science fiction novel because he has a very sardonic tone throughout it, and he's very clearly like angry and outraged and kind of like going off the cuff with it. And also like the first part he made before like the Gulf War actually happened, kind of a thing. Anyways, I bring that up because something he highlights is the fetishization of hostages, or like the focus of war becoming like hostage based instead of like fighting over territories or like boundaries. The scale at which what the Gulf War is doing is fundamentally like different than what previous wars were. And I found that interesting because, you know, Metal Gear as a game is heavily about collecting hostages. Like that is the commodity you deal with in to rank up. And what I think that connection does for me is it just kind of highlights the cultural shift that our imaginary was taking in the 80s as far as what warfare was. Think about Rambo 2. You know, Rambo Part 1, First Blood, is this very introspective movie about like Vietnam really just traumatizing the nation in ways we haven't reconciled. First Blood Part 2, though, is about going back and getting those MIAs that were a huge... I don't know the veracity of if they actually existed, but it seems like it may have been a bit of a right-wing, just sort of myth-making in the post-Vietnam era to kind of get back at like the liberals who scapegoated and hated us. $120.48, yeah, all buzzing, Jennifer, got it. The RPG is ours. Okay, so I did Dr. Petrovich. Did I get the antidote? No, I'm gonna get the antidote on my way out, I said. And I'll hold myself to that. This is a good room for rations. Do true tells me the compass, check. How do I... I don't is the answer. Oh, I didn't even see what was over here. I don't know if I can open this. Let's see. I think that elevator just leads me away and I need to go grab that antidote. Do I risk? Well, the elevator will checkpoint stuff for me, I assume. Oh, only if I make it. All right. I do think I have to make it to that elevator too, because these are one-way elevators, like this one doesn't go down. So I best pick up the antidote first, I guess. Let's eliminate these guards. Out of pure vindictive pettiness, all right. Let's get that antidote. How about we highlight if you need to delete an evil chud or something? Yes, Mask for Mask, that highlighting is actually very useful. Evil chuds. Are there non-evil chuds? Can chud be good? Is chud attainable? Is chud right for you? Ask your doctor. Let's use the SMG because its spread catches dudes better. And keep the rations going. Wow, I was praising you, you know? Absolutely biffed it on that. Oh, it goes further back than 20 years, honestly, Sleepy Zane. There's a quote, I forget exactly where it's from, but it's by Isaac Asimov, so it's at least from the 1970s, where he's like, we've come to a point where people believe that, like, my opinion means my opinion's in ways and as much fact and reason as your opinion. Is the gist of it. If you search up the phrasing, you can probably find it relatively easy online, unless the AI is worse than I'm anticipating, which it might be. It just might be. Alright, alright, alright. I'm gonna try to understand the logic of using weapons in this game more. This, like, corner fire seems to be paying off. Alright, antidote acquired. I think I should next go for the RPG because that one room gives me hella rations and it's not guarded by a big swole boy. So I don't need to go through those 2 doors. Cool, yeah, I have no rations, but at least I'm here. There was a comment I noticed on the YouTube, which was reacting to me talking about postmodernism in theory in regards to Metal Gear Solid 2. And basically they disregarded any of the content of the clip just to say that postmodernism is an expression of ingratitude due to, it's a lack of gratitude due to extreme excess or something very strong man create hard times, like just an anime villain platitude about like, oh, the weak and but anyways, I just asked them to expand on the platitude that they posted in the comment section because they were trying to be snarky about it. And the reply was, really? With a question mark, as in like they were confused as to like why I was trying to have a conversation with them, even though they sought out a small channel based on conversation and started commenting in the comment section. Alright, let's get this RPG. I think Sleepy Zane 2, what we're seeing is sort of the reaction of like a sedentary and isolating lifestyle in which, like, in a sophomoric sense, you know, teenagers don't have real life experiences, so a lot of how they relate to one another in high school and in early adulthood is through like brands and identities like that. But you know, eventually you have like narratives and life experiences and you kind of form a history outside of that. But as the American lifestyle tends more towards a sort of isolationist thing, you don't escape that sort of bubble of like consumption as identity in the same way. And it's less because you're a teenager who has a curfew and a high school regimen, and more that like you're an adult who just doesn't imagine to do those things. Alright, we got the RPG, we got a ration, we have the antidote. Now, I need to talk to the professor dude first because the other way leads to the elevator. So let's do this as gracefully as we can. I thought that was a 5. Is it a 2? Is it a 3? Is it a 4? Is it a 5? Is it a 6? I could have sworn it was a 5. Is it a 1? I just blew everything doing this. Ow, I got shot by a dying man. Wow. Dang, there's a lot of dudes down there. These boards are tricky because they have one guy on like one side of them that you can't get rid of to like get rid of the alert. So you have to kind of carry it forward. But I think once I get in here, yeah, this room, I can make quick work of dudes if I don't waste my submachine gun ammo like I did last time. Something I'm noticing that's effective is you're not really supposed to like shoot from straight on, you're supposed to kind of do corner stuff like what I'm doing here with that ambush. Oh yeah, let's clear this room, because this should turn off the alarm, right? Yeah. Same as last time, let's go get... Is it 3? It is. I'm getting it. Guess what? I am high class. I wonder. All right, I'm gonna grind a little for a moment, gang. If the drops are nice, this might be fruitless after a while. No, I need to punch you so hard you turn into food. I keep punching you so hard you turn into bullets. There we go. Alright, so I got the RPG, I got the antidote. Let's go talk to the doctor on the far side, which I swore it was a 5, but the 5 wasn't opening it. Maybe it's the 6? After that, though, I really am kind of confused as to how I'm supposed to get across the elevator room. That roller and that pit, it's all very scary to me. Whoops. Come on. If I go in this room and start punching, I think I'll be okay. Yeah, just like that. I think what I'll do is when I return from break, we're going to do some more reading on the Baudrillard, but I'm just going to read the introduction to the book version of the Gulf War did not take place, because in reality, the Gulf War did not take place is 3 essays. One is called The Gulf War Will Not Take Place, which he published right before the Gulf War. One he published during, which was called The Gulf War Is Not Taking Place. And then one at the end that was kind of a post-mort called The Gulf War Did Not Take Place. And the linked PDF has the 3 of them as well as an introduction. They were collected for a book called The Gulf War Did Not Take Place. The introduction is by the translator, Paul something, I believe. I may be totally off on that. I'll rectify that when I actually read the excerpts. I have it noted. Because Metal Gear as an artifact of that time also plays into the way the imaginary of war was shifted and shaped and molded. Alright, what am I gonna fuck up here? So was it not level 5? Do I need a level 6 card? Is it level 1? It is a level 1, okay. That's what I was messing up. Level 5's the other door over there. And I believe that's just an ammo room. Turn around. Please turn around. Cool, cool, cool. Got it. See, there's some fun problem-solving methodologies to this enemy placement. Okay. Will do, will do, will do. Cool. Let me catch up real quick. Oh yeah, that is tomorrow, isn't it, Mask? Good heads up. I'll be watching it closely as well. Yeah, Mask, that's something I'm interested into as well with the general fund, is the general specifics of just like funds and infrastructure, ways you can support someone who will be striking if you yourself cannot. But also, no, yeah, when Kat came on Wisecrack Live, that was my first interaction with her, but like she was on Behind the Bastards recently. The reason I brought up that specific vector for protest, I mean not for protest, but for the general strike is because I think, oh cool, I can't carry anymore. It bridges the gap, some people think, as far as like it being too impossible or too ambitious a thing. Like, no, you actually can practically set this up with just a concentrated effort. Oh, that sounds awesome, Mask. Do you have any links or anything you can give me in reference to that? Because I want to see more like on the ground examples of like what's working. Because, you know, bad faith actors always bring that up as an argument to us, like, oh, do you just want the hospitals to shut down? Okay, I think I'm done down here, but I also think I can milk these guys for rations if I'm smart. Actually, I could pretty safely hang right here and not get hit by bullets, huh? Yeah. Cool. Come play. We all float down here. None of them turn into food? That's not cool, man. I think it was a 1. Okay. Okay, I'm loaded with rockets. I'm loaded with bullets. I got the antidote. I couldn't get that other door at the far end. Maybe it was just messing up again. Maybe something wasn't reading right, but I'm gonna save this hostage and then I'm gonna take the elevator. Hostages in here? Yeah, hostages in here. He tells me about the compass. I don't know how to not trigger that guy is my issue. Haha. Ooh. Yeah, cornering is such a key part of like the gunplay. It's not about like that straight on 1-1, which I just was not fundamentally grasping last time. All right, this is the room that's gonna just frustrate me to no end, isn't it? All right, gang, we're giving this board another go. They moved your real idea port? Oh, I won't mention at which employer or anything, but like I've had at least 2 coworkers. The less I say, the better. But in general, I'm just being very surprised by some green card issues some people have been having. Not even as far as like getting deported or booted from country, but like being able to renew their paperwork or like work because of certain issues that like renewing the card is brought up because of stupid administration bullshit. Big load of Nazi shit, definitely. Wait, I forgot, I started the board fresh, so we gotta go in here, get our antidote. Alright, antidote acquired. Hey, hey, ho, ho. Thank you for the food. Hey, hey, ho, ho, thank you. Let's see if the RNG gods bless me, gang. We're gonna farm again. Boy, one thing I do love about stealth games is farming. It's just like Stardew Valley. I feel like it's faster to do this than to go for the 2 of them, considering the frequency of drops. Oops. Yeah, yeah. The thing is, no matter how many of these I hoard, it doesn't, prevent me from dodging the roller. Maybe the roller room is just straight up a trap because it's a dead. I can go up to the 3rd floor, maybe? We'll see. We'll see. I feel like I want to go up to the 3rd floor and then go back to the 1st floor the other way around so that I can then exit this building and go back to the other basement and get the doctor's daughter. I think that's the goal. Okay, let's go talk to the doctor then. Question, do I need the ammo? I don't think I need the ammo from the ammo room, so I'm just gonna skip it entirely. I don't want to skip him because I feel like, I feel like I need him to say that to trigger something in building 1 because I don't want to backtrack all the way to building 1 and then nothing. All right. It's okay, it's an easy manage room, it's an easy manage room, it's an easy manage room, it's an easy manage room. I'm a big brave dog. Yeah, alright. So instead, after I free this hostage over here, I'm gonna go to the other elevator. And I'm not gonna worry about the whole... Yeah, I'm not gonna worry about it that way. I'll need a compass to cross the desert. Why, thank you. All right, that's it so far. I kind of want to try one more time for the faraway place. Don't remember what level key it takes though. Just double check this door over here. Confirm what it is. Yeah, okay, every corner's been licked on this floor. I don't want to fucks with that elevator room. I don't think I have to. I have the antidote, I have the gas mask, not the gas mask clue, but I have the clues, I saved some hostages. So I can't go down this way, and I think I have all the other floors lit. Oh, I think it's constant gunfire up here, isn't it? Yeah, like that was a hostage. Alerts just constantly go off. Okay. Let's just backtrack then. Yeah, this is all combat. Okay, the roof is just constant battlefield. Pretty sure I came through this way and already got all these doors, but I'm paranoid. They're probably going to never stop coming, honestly. I should give up that ghost. Cool. So I don't need to go to the roof. I don't need to go to the third floor. I don't think I need to go to the basement either. I think I licked all of the basement already, if my memory serves me correctly. I think I just need to get back to building 1 and rescue the dude's daughter. So let's go for that. Good one, Ja. So I can't get back this way if I recall correctly. Or I can. Okay. Thanks, Big Boss. This is the antenna room, though, so I already came through this way. Right, I'm just trying to get out of this building. Because, yeah, I don't think I can use whatever door's down here yet. I don't have the clearance level yet. Also, how'd that guy not see me? Like, I don't think I can open this door yet. it's just a hostage room. Okay. Then I don't know what I'm talking about. Let's just get out of here. Let's find the doctor's daughter. I also have no clue what I'm supposed to use the antidote for. But I'm sure it'll be known in due time. I don't think I've ever... No, I don't think I ever took this way. I just assumed I couldn't go over here. My bad. Nothing open today. Okay. Again, just the archaic nature of the inventory is a bit frustrating, but we got this. Hey, 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 what do we got here? Just plastic explosives, nothing else? I hope I haven't been supposed to be licking walls looking for explosive holes everywhere from the start. That'd be a bit of a big bummer. Yes, walk into my fists. Okay, so there's some doors up there that I can't open yet. Noted. I think everywhere else I've pretty much licked. Oh. So I think that's the only up elevator. And this is where I fought that boss. Okay, we're good to go. We're getting there. Yeah, whatever. All right, gang. Let's get back to building 1 and get that goil. I wonder if the ration hunt spot will be open as well. Huge carryover to Metal Gear Solid, running all the way back to get the sniper rifle. Pretty funny how, I mean, it's not funny, it's the same game, same franchise. Pretty great how that carries over. Sleepy Zane, honestly, so I haven't played 5, but I would be down with like a Metal Gear Solid 3 style take on this game. I mean, that's kind of what makes Snake Eater so fun. Snake Eater's kind of like a good, I guess the jungle stuff just reminds me of the jungle stuff I had in the NES one. Because, like, I mean, Metal Gear Solid 2, and Snake Eater all have, like, these overhead screens. It's all in the same lineage. What am I even getting at here besides, hey, the thing looks like the thing, hey, the thing's a remix of the thing? I guess, in a way, it does highlight how there's a continuity to these things, because, you know, everybody's Metal Gear, first Metal Gear is something different, and each of them seems novel, and then you go and play them in order, and you're like, oh wow, they're iterating on each other. And it's like, well, yeah, duh, of course they're gonna do that, but the way it reminds you of there being an actual, like, continuity of history thing going on, and it's not just like the schizophrenic moment as Jameson describes. I mean, that's the value of kind of like art history and the humanities education and just what we do here on the channel, looking at like theory and literature and just how these concepts are handled throughout time. Oh, I thought I had the ration thing on. Let's see where it starts me off. Oh, cool, 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 cool. There's just that room with the plastic explosive up top that I went through. No big deal. I think, gang, when I get to the ration cart this time, I'm going to break. We're gonna stand up, stretch, take a breather. Or maybe I should at least run for the basement. Because I'm pretty sure if I run to that elevator shaft and hit the basement, I'll at least checkpoint in the elevator shaft on the way to the basement and not have to run from building 2 again. But first we're gonna farm. We're gonna farm some food. As you do. I remember when we fired this game up, the first thing I noted was how clunky Snake's speed felt, but now that I'm used to the ebb and flow of the game, it's like, no, this is appropriate. The sort of limited POV heft that like the enemies have, and the extremely blatant dead zones of space that you can maneuver in, like the game really wants you to consider that. And it really wants you to fight them in T's. Like, it doesn't want you to face them straight on, it wants you to hit them at 90-degree angles, is kind of the gist of it. Yeah, let's go for that elevator. I'm just gonna keep the rations equipped once I get... Sleepy Zane, I'm definitely like not gonna replay this. Like, once I'm done with it, you know? It's not one I'm gonna seek to replay, but I'm happy to be here. I am going to play Metal Gear 2 though. I'm kind of curious with how sophisticated and yet dated this is, what Metal Gear 2 tries to rectify. Or what it adds in trying to change or improve the formula. Metal Gear 2 is a proper game. If it doesn't have any bullshit like the oh yeah, you have to go to the wall in the basement. If it's a bit less esoteric with some of its stuff and maybe the keycard shit's not as bad, I'll be down with it. "90-degree angles, 90-degree angles." Cool. Oh, I actually remember, oh, the basement's the other way, isn't it? There's the other elevator. Okay, let's see if that did anything for us. But also, with the level 4 keycard, you can go pretty much anywhere in building 1 without much worry. I'm not gonna fight these guys. Why would I do that? That's mean. Here we go. So hopefully that checkpoints. You know what? Let's see if we can find the lady before we go to break. Is she going to be down here somewhere? Or am I totally blanking on another instance of like there being a basement you can find down here? Oh? 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 I found a stash room, okay. But keep going is what it's telling me. Alright then. Did I never notice this here before? This door right here. Wait, what did I just get? Oh, hell yes, but I have to wear it? That would have been super useful to have earlier. I should have been licking down here. This is... Wow, this is the basement from Shadow of Moses, huh? Okay, I know that leads to where I was held before. And this leads to the gas mask, right? Yeah. I wonder if there's like a fake wall or something like that, or 2 doors in every room? Now this is retro gaming right here. Gee, us gamers, huh, fellas? Quite literally licking corners. Okay, gone in a circle. Let me go to... I'm going to examine the center room stuff still, because I'm wondering if there's something there, but also I'm gonna go through this door real quick. Wow, this body armor would have probably been making a huge difference in building 2. I should be ashamed. All right. Now I'm just paranoid every wall's breakable. Oh, did I never open that top door? Was it always locked off? I don't remember. Okay, they're just giving that message because you always get that message in that room. What about what's up here, though? Okay, new zone, got it. I completely forgot about that door. Whoa. The whole animation where it appears from the floor is kind of mean, but it does remind me of the false floors both in Metal Gear Solid 1 and Metal Gear Solid 2. Hell yeah, found her. I will. Okay, cool. We were able to do that before break. I kind of want to see what's up here real quick, and then we still got some juice in the camera, so I'm just gonna stretch the limits of that. Maybe there will be another key card, because I still need a key card. Oh. Oh shit. Damn. Oh, what a perfect place to continue. We're gonna save, and we're gonna go to break. Gang, stand up, stretch, rehydrate, treat yourself. When you get back, we will figure out these dark, dark sewers together. What a classic Dark Souls-ism, you know? The basement, the lights are out, you need the lamp on. Fun stuff. This has been TECHNOPOVERTY. We'll be right back. All right, gang. We'll be getting right back to Metal Gear in a moment, but I did promise a little bit of Baudrillard to kick off the night. Now, we're not going to go all the way into the Gulf War to not take place, but there's a few pieces of the introduction that I think serve as a nice general summary. Once again, the introduction was written by the translator, Paul Patton. He did an excellent job. And in this introduction, he just kind of gives a quick overview of what the piece is about. I'm going to read some excerpts from that now. It was not the first time that images of war had appeared on TV screens, but it was the first time that they were relayed live from the battlefront. It was not the first occasion on which the military censored what could be reported, but it did involve a new level of military control of reportage and images. Military planners had clearly learned a great deal since Vietnam. Procedures for controlling the media were developed and tested in the Falklands, Grenada, and Panama. As a result, what we saw was for the most part a clean war, with lots of pictures of weaponry, including the amazing footage from the nose cam eras of smart bombs, and relatively few images of human casualties, none from the Allied forces. In the words of one commentator, for the first time, the power to create a crisis merges with the power to direct the movie about it. Desert Storm was the first major global media crisis orchestration that made instant history. The Gulf War movie was instant history in the sense that the selected images which were broadcast worldwide provoked immediate responses and then became frozen into the accepted story of the war. High-tech weapons, ecological disaster, the liberation of Kuwait. In case anyone missed the first release, CNN produced its own edited documentary, CNN: War in the Gulf, which was shown on TV around the world. Within weeks of the end of hostilities, Time Warner produced a CD-ROM disc on Desert Storm, which included published text, unedited correspondence reports, photos, and maps in the form of a single hypertext document. In their publicity, they described the interactive multimedia disc as a first draft of history. Does the refusal of the critical strategy which seeks to re-establish the truth of what happened commit Baudrillard to the irrationalist denial that any military engagement took place? Alternatively, does the fact of military conflict constitute a refutation of the hypothesis that there was no Gulf War? It does only if we accept that what did take place out there in the desert beyond the reach of the TV cameras was in fact a war. Baudrillard's argument in The Gulf War Did Not Take Place is not that nothing took place, but rather that what took place was not a war. In the past, war has always involved an antagonistic and destructive confrontation between adversaries, a dual relation between warring parties. In several respects, this was not the case in the Gulf conflict. The disparity between US and Iraqi forces with regard to method and military technology was so great that direct engagement rarely took place, and when it did, the outcome was entirely predictable. Whereas Iraq was disposed to fight in the manner of its previous war with Iran and prepared to tolerate the massive casualties which would result from a ground-based war of attrition, the US and its allies sought a rapid conflict based upon air power, high-technology intelligence, and weapon systems, and the extensive use of electronic warfare. The almost complete absence of any engagement by Iraqi planes and the fate of their technologically inferior tanks testify to the one-sided nature of this conflict. It is as though the Iraqis were electrocuted, lobotomized, running towards the television journalists in order to surrender or immobilized beside their tanks. Can this be called a war? The claim that war itself has become virtual does not mean that military conflicts do not occur. They do, and with increasing frequency and savagery in the New World Order.
But these are secondary phenomenon, like the persistence of sweatshops alongside fully automated production facilities. They are the consequences of a law of uneven development, located for the most part in a political and military third world. Where they do involve first world powers such as the US or the UK, it is because they are in conflict with the third world forces who do not recognize that the rules of the game have changed, or who, like Saddam Hussein, operate according to different rules. They are police operations rather than wars. In these cases, deterrence breaks down from a lack of any common ground, and it is this failure of communication which leads to the use of force. However, the use of force remains carefully circumscribed, a lever of last resort employed only to the extent that it is necessary to bring the recalcitrant party into line. The crucial stake in the Gulf affair, Baudrillard argues, was the subordination of Islam to the global order. Our wars thus have less to do with the confrontation of warriors than with the domestication of the refractory forces on the planet. All that is singular and irreducible must be reduced and absorbed. This is the law of democracy and the New World Order. So yeah, I especially like what he talks about in terms of it going from, it's not a war, it's a police action. Let's get back to this room. This room we need the flashlight to navigate. Let me make sure this controller's still on. But turn that over. I mean, if you know anything about Metal Gear Solid 2, you might already see where this is going with the fully orchestrated for the media event stuff. So I just can't touch those holes. All right. My question is, should I even be trying this place, or should I just go back to building 2? I'm gonna try this place a few times, and if I don't feel fast enough, I'm just gonna go to building 2. Maybe if I go straight to the left instead of trying to go north. Oh, hey, they gave me the pity upgrades. Awesome. There we go. Oh, but not there. I mean, I can hang there, but I can't. Maybe if I try to make that corner. Unless it's just the totally wrong time to be trying to do this. Go this way, go this way, go this way. Up. Yes, Ja, I believe that as well, especially because what you will see when we get more into Baudrillard's essay, kind of what the translator says right there at the end about it being a police action, he very much believes that, like, we're not seeing a war, you know, we're seeing a police action, we're seeing a new transitory management phase as the Western world tries to bring the Islamic world into the domesticated New World Order of things.
So he has a clear kind of like interpretation that there's like a racial imperial bent to it. It's not about, you know, oh yeah, there's this mythology of like East versus West and like the religious holy war and like the apocalyptic fight. But I mean, Saddam Hussein benefits from that mythology as they both, you know, both sides kind of like try this battle of deterrence and attrition. And the complete lack of innuendo our current war with Iran has, that it's so blatantly being called a, you know, for the oil and such. Yeah, this is all, you know, on Polymarket and Kalshi with the gambling on the outcomes. Just, it's like we're gambling on if the narrative of war will hold up or if it will be permissible in some ways. I don't know. The gambling part is interesting. The gambling plus lack of innuendo stuff is just very interesting. Nope. If I go to the side there, maybe. Damn, okay. Damn. Okay. This reminds me of the stupid crystal cave in Dark Souls 1 with its invisible floors, where like in theory you can see stuff dropping on it and like you can drop things on it to leave a path. Damn. Instead of talking about Dark Souls, maybe I should play the game. I got the trick of this first room down though, I think. Huh, okay. I think I just went straight up like this. Yeah. Boom, 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 boom. Diane. I was like supposed to come the other way, wasn't I? Diane, what? Why? What the hell? Trap floor? Okay. Interesting. Oh, did I come through this way before and just not have... Yeah, I did. Okay. Or not. I think I came through this way before, but like you just can't access this part of things. Oh, well, that's thankful. Yeah, because I went through the other side of this before. Been through here too. Okay. I think we can safely, oh. This is the shoot gunner room if I remember right. Not the shoot gunner, but there was some boss I fought here. All right, let's go back to building 1 now, I think building 2. Going back to building 2. Oh shit, I'm in building 2. Holy fuck. Okay, cool. Cool. I didn't realize I did that when I crossed that chasm there through this, through the underground tunnel with the flashlight. Wow. This is kind of a Dark Souls moment. Holy shit. This map's actually quite awesome now. Wow. Okay, epiphany had. Maybe I should have just paid more attention to the basement. I'm kind of not hating that I missed that thing earlier, because I missed a few things earlier that if I just paid attention and kind of knocked on doors and just been nicer to things. Yeah. I think it's a 1 I need right here, right? Yeah. Still unforgivable what you gotta do with these damn key cards. But no, that whole shortcut through the basements underground just made me rethink how, yeah, I love that. Video games rule, guys. It's like coming up from Blighttown on the other side for the first time. You don't even realize how many places go back to Firelink, and then they do. All right, Doc, I saved your kid. Please give me some info or some help. 100 floors under building 3. Cool. Classic explosives with the legs. Right, left, right. Oh my god, I'm going to have to, this is absurd. Doctor, why did you, well, I guess it's supposed to be indestructible. Chat, clip it, remember it. I may need this info soon. While I'm doing that, Ja, what are you saying real quick? Yes, agreed. 16 sets. Card that gets you out of building 2s with Bloody Brad. He's vulnerable to attacks from a rocket launcher. Good luck. Bloody Brad? Vulnerable to rocket launcher attack. Where is this guy? Who is this guy? I have a lot of rocket launcher. Punch fast, punch fast. Okay. So I can get an extra card from that basement roaming. Did I miss something in the base? I don't think I missed anything in the basement though. All thing I can think of now is getting to that one elevator. Good night, Zane. Oh, well, I'm gonna have to see how far I get tonight. I feel like if the dude's telling, I feel like I just need to go below Metal Gear in Building 3 now. I I just need to get the card. I don't know what dude they're talking about, though. Do I have to beat up the two... All thing I can think of is the two big dudes in the center room guarding all the gates, and then maybe whatever's beyond that elevator, if that one elevator is not a trap. I don't think that elevator is a trap, it's just what leads down. Maybe I just gotta bust up the buff boys somehow. We'll see. Time to try a bunch of stuff on them. Stuff. Yeah, no, not working. Not working. Not really working. Not really working. Really don't know where else I can go now is the thing. And these guys are like invulnerable to everything. I don't really have anything for this door, do I? What am I supposed to do with this antidote as well? Alright. Don't know what I'm doing on that floor anymore. Don't know what I'm doing on the basement anymore. Nothing to be done up here except run. So that excludes the, I guess I'll have to grope around the first floor. Nothing up here, nothing on floor 2. It came from the basement, which I'm pretty sure I got all covered up. I'm looking for a dude I have to beat with a rocket launcher, which I also got on that floor, but I haven't used against the specific enemy. I don't have the scuba gear. I mean, there might be something I'm missing in the basement. This door is locked beyond my level, if I remember right, and the other one just has plastic explosives in it. Good night, Ja. Understandable that work is calling. I'm also getting to a very old school, redundant kind of mode of licking around to kind of figure out where to go next, because I really have hit a wall as far as like hooks of exploration and remembrance go. I don't know from here where I'm supposed to use this rocket launcher to fight this dude. Oh. Oh, I can't use rations in the water, damn. Okay. Let's check out the basement, gang. Gas room, yes. Hostage room, alright. So last time I came through, I exited this way. Which, yep, okay. Still a valid exit. Yeah, that's all the basement stuff from the other way around. How did I get here from the other place? There we go. Right, and then this just leads me all the way back to the other place. Now I came up through that way, but if I come over this way, is there any like false wall shit? No. Because this is just going to be me running back to building 1 now. Like, these are much easier to dodge coming this way. Let's see where I restart. Yep. Yeah, a much nicer system indeed. Even though I just messed up right there at the end. So I have full life, I have all the class, I have all the weapons, I just don't know where to go now. The thing about these pits is they're very finicky insta-kill things. So I guess I found her backwards. I guess I was supposed to come down this way with the new card, and because this feels like the much more intended way of going this way. A classic Dark Souls mistake. I got the master key too early. Oops. Because, yeah, I just come back this way. The daughter was here, but she's been rescued. The body armor has been very helpful at making this feel less of a backtrack as well. Came in here, fought the boss here. And then I'm going to go up this way, and there will be the... Gang, in a moment here, I might just look up how to blow up the muscle boys in building 2, because I really feel that's what I should be focusing on or working on. Thank you, Mask. Yeah, I'm gonna farm rations, and then I'm going to consult the internet, I think. Because the rocket launcher did not seem to be working on those guys. I'm being told the rocket launcher works on the Arnolds, so maybe the game just wasn't communicating that well. Let's go see. Let me see really quick with my grenade launcher. Can I just blast these guys? I can. What'd that do? Why did that happen? I don't like this. Oh, gang, okay. Well then. Interesting. All right, let's reload the game and see where we left off then. Okay, if I recall the saves right, I just need to navigate the flashlight room, get back to building 2, talk to the doctor one more time, and then blow up the Arnolds with the RPG. I believe that's where I last saved, correct? Let's see. Yep, okay, cool. Not the worst, but could be better. That's the next screen. I was safe. All right. Hug the boxes, Henry. Hug the boxes. They are your friend after all. Cool, there we go. So 6 or a 5. All I know is there's rations. to the second floor. Okay, yeah, they just don't give you any visual feedback that they're getting hurt, but they are. Card 7, cool. Holy shit, thank you. Alright, let's go talk to the doctor. And then I guess go to the first floor. I'm just gonna run for it with all this armor on. Oh, you know what? There's this door over here I should examine. No. What is behind this door? Man, I do not like that roller room so much that I prefer to do the roof run around on it. But that's what we're gonna do. We're once again gonna take a lap on the roof because of these one-way elevators. Very annoying. I get what they're trying to facilitate, I just really don't like that room on the second floor where the false floor is right in front of the elevator and there's a roller on top. So there's still the one room on floor 2. I just have no clue what I'm doing with. Basement's pretty much licked. Building 1's pretty much licked. I just have doors here that hopefully the 7 will open. Hopefully. Wait, over here does open, doesn't it? I always forget that. And it was just like a hostage, if I recall. Really, I'm just hoping the up top door is a 7 door. Please be a 7 door. And if things are right, it will give me whatever I need to either open the door on the 2nd floor or to swim through here. Yes. Oh shit. Oh shit, a desert. I forget if there's mines out here. I forget if there's something in general. There's scorpions for sure. I'm just gonna... Honestly, was not expecting scorpions. Somebody said something about scorpions. I don't remember it. I don't think there's anything. Was that it? Was that the poison? Oh, I need a compass for the desert, huh? Is what the dude told me. Where do I get the compass, though? Nope. Oh, that's not a good spot to be. I'm gonna go camp rations, and then I need to look. I'm gonna look up where the compass is. I'm just kind of curious, sort of at a loss as to what sense of direction I'm supposed to be trusting on my own behalf. Okay, I just looked it up, and apparently I was supposed to call Jennifer in the room with the locked door. That's, again, kind of weird, game. Not a very cool method, I must say. Oh, I guess I have to wear the uniform to, like, go through that door. It's from this side. Damn it. Thank you. That's such a convoluted thing. Okay. But there's the compass. Okay. I'm glad they better directed that in later games by just having more dialogue and just more naturalistic, just, hey, call someone. I know they told me about the RPG, but I don't know how I was really supposed to intuit that. Why, hello, old woman that drives. Are you driving right now? You better not be an AI. What are you driving, by the way? Yes, I believe you're not AI based on giving me way too actually like responsive answers. That's what an AI would say. Yeah, 3-2, how are you feeling about this person? They are a first-time chatter, and they are an old woman that drives, and the old women I know, well, I know old women that drive. I can think of a few old women in my life, such as my grandmother and my mother, who did call it at one point and were just like, I don't think driving's for me anymore. And I very much respect that. Okay, old woman that drives, I just generally don't really care about AI. No, I don't think AI can have a real conversation. If you're gonna keep putting that point on, I'm just gonna ignore you while playing the Metal Gear Solid. The Metal Gear. Really gets to the question of like what you consider a conversation if you're wondering if AI could have it, because like what can AI do conversationally that like gleans insights into like an interiority of another individual or makes you feel recognized by another individual? It is just a mirror. I mean, it can mimic the sounds of like a back and forth, and I think to some people that qualifies as a conversation, but not for me. Yeah, I don't really care. My priority is getting across this desert. Face-to-face bunker. Now you are not a bot for sure. You're just one of the wonderful products from Streamboot telling me what I can do. Okay, how do I cross the desert with the compass? Oh yeah? Cool, 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 cool. Can I go in these trucks? Oh, the truck starts to move, eh? Well, damn. All right, well, it's 10:47. We've discovered building 3. I think this is going to be a good spot to stop as soon as I finish farming rations. See, 3-2, the reason, I'm not sure if an old woman that drives is an AI though, because I think an AI would keep responding. Also, it's just like, I don't know, it is such an inane, because like it is such an inane and dumb enough kind of like, well, should AI be respected in this way, kind of rhetorical, to where it's like, well, yeah, a robot would ask that kind of thing. But also, I think a robot wouldn't stop comprehending or stop responding. I would have to boot you from chat. Either way, thank you for the engagement, an old woman that drives. Thank you, all sincere listeners and chatters, for the engagement that drives the channel as well. If you ever miss the live stream, you can check us out on YouTube. Why don't you recommend us to our friends? To your friends, our friends. Why would you recommend us to our friends? I'm getting sleepy, it's the end of the night, this game's whittling me down, but let's save data. I'll just remember next time in general, get to building 3. I think whatever awaits me in building 3 will lead me to the scuba gear. That will get me through that one place. Also at the bottom of building 3 apparently is where Metal Gear is. I feel like we're closing in on the end, y'all. Depending on how tomorrow plays out, we may be back to Metal Gear. It may be a Shin Megami Tuesday. Who knows? Tune in then. See you soon. Take care, Techno Hotties. Good night.